Hey guys, Troy here, back with another video today. You guys really liked my last buy, sell, hold video where you submitted the cards you've been picking up and I just gave my short opinion on it. So today I'm bringing you the second edition. We got a bunch of cool comments, a bunch of cool cards to look at. So if you want to be featured in the next video and you like this format, make sure to comment what you've been picking up down below. As always, I give my disclaimer every video. I'm not the smartest card person in the world. I don't claim to know the future. This is just my opinion. Hopefully it helps some of you guys out, but if you disagree, that's fine. You could very well be right. I'm just trying to provide context and what my thinking would be on individual cards you're looking at. So the first question is from a regular on the channel. We have Astro Boy here. He said, great video mate. My submission for the next video, 2016 Prism Euro Raheem Sterling base and 2017-2018 Select Soccer Messi Terrace base. So for the 2016 Prism Raheem Sterling, I was actually shocked when I looked these up. Variations, numbered blue and red stuff going for like $15. I'm not the biggest Raheem Sterling fan personally, but that seems very, very cheap, especially compared to some other players who have Prisms. And also one thing I definitely feel pretty strongly about is I would always go for their first Prism if we're going with Prisms. Obviously, true rookie always wins out, but it still doesn't make sense to me. I understand it's a World Cup, but why 2018 Prisms are worth as much in some cases, or even more, than players' 2016 Prism cards. If we're going to go with the Prism thing, it definitely has to be their first Prism that has the value on it. In terms of the Messi Select, I'm not a huge fan of the random optic and select Messi and Ronaldo's. I think, obviously, I'm going to repeat it again, true rookie #1, but if you're going to go outside that, I would go for the first Prism, especially considering 2014 Prism Messi PSA 9 is probably like, I think it's like $120 right now. I would just shell out the little bit extra for that, because if there becomes this swell of interest in Messi and Ronaldo and their cards in particular, true rookies will go first. That's where people are always going to be looking at. But after that, it's going to be the 2014 Prism. And it's going to be a long stretch till they ever get to a random 2017 Select card. But once again, that's just my opinion. That's what I would personally go for. Next question is from Rafi Tagapan. Tackle some vintage basketball cards in your next video. Like, do players such as Steve Nash still hold any value if he performs well as a coach? So this one is actually something that taught me a lesson. I think at times everyone in the hobby can be dismissive of how other people are doing things. You think your way is the only way to do it. I saw people picking up the most random cards, like Steve Nash first Prisms, and I was just like, who's ever gonna want this? Who's ever gonna buy this? But when Steve Nash got named as the Brooklyn Nets head coach, all his stuff went up like a lot, including that first Prism. So I don't think it's going to be like, Ja Morant or Luka. If they play well, their cards follow it pretty strongly. I don't think that's going to be the case for Steve Nash and his cards. But after watching the market the whole year, some of these vintage guys, the stuff they're doing now can definitely impact their prices. So obviously everyone knows The Last Dance being featured in a documentary, that's going to affect their prices. If they get named to a head coach, if they have some sort of social media moment, their cards can definitely go up. I'm not saying Steve Nash cards are going to go up or aren't going to go up this year, but yes, it's within the realm of possibility that what he does as a coach this year and what the Nets do could somehow impact his card prices. Next one from Diego Cua, great guy. So shout out to you, man. Talk with you on Instagram a lot. He said, my brother, Jason Tatum, Prism, and Select Concourse, PSA 9s, please. Quality content as usual. Appreciate you, my guy. If you're on this channel, you know I love my graphs, I love my charts, but I don't use them just to use them, but I think it's applicable in this particular case. Let's look at Jason Tatum's Prism graph. So it got up to a high of, in a PSA 10, it was $1,164. And now it is at, a shade over $800. So I think this does have room to run. I'm not sure how much. I'm not personally a big believer in the Celtics. I think Tatum is a good player. Everyone knows he's an all-star, definitely has potential to make all NBA. It's hard for me to believe that his individual performance this year is really going to boom his cards. Everyone knows he's really good. I think at this point, it's going to take the Celtics having success to really move his cards to a different level. And I personally don't see that happening. I don't think they have the talent for it. Kemba Walker, not going to do it. I'm sorry. And now that I think about it, I messed up the whole format of this video. But you knew what I was saying on the last two cards. But for this one, I'm going to say hold. I wouldn't say buy at this particular moment. But if you own a Jason Tatum Prism, I would hold it. I think it'll go up a little bit more. But at this particular point in time, I wouldn't be rushing to go in. And in terms of the select, I really like the look of that card, actually. I think it's a great looking card. Obviously much lower pop than Prism or anything like that. The graph, the trend is going to be roughly the same, so everything applies. But in general, yeah, I really like that card. Once again, I wouldn't be rushing to buy it right now. Definitely something for you guys to think about instead of always going Prism or even Optic, which I like. Think about the select, especially from that year. I like the Jason Tatum. All right, next one from Cole Barrison. Great vid. I'm picking up Darius Garland cards and Hakimi Topps Chrome and Inspiration jerseys. I think Hakimi has a great year so far and can really get to a superstar type player. Garland is sort of a raw prospect, but I think this year he has room to grow and can turn out to be a good investment. First of all, shout out to you for being right on Garland. You nailed it. And if you had invested in Garland, you would have made good money, which I'm hoping you did because you shouted him out here. I'm not going to beat a dead horse anymore. You guys know my feelings on players like Garland. Can make a lot of money, but just know the risks. My real quick personal opinion though, if I owned them right now, I would sell. But once again, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. There's a million different ways to enjoy and invest money in the hobby. In terms of Hakimi, yeah, he's a really talented player. I personally prefer his Optic rated rookie. I know those are dirt cheap. Those are like under $5. Variations are like $20. Those Topps Chromes look cool too. I was looking at them. I don't know how much I believe in him as a long-term investment because he's not on a big national team. He's never going to be, like a top 10 player in the world. But you never know. The soccer market is constantly changing. So I'm going to say hold for Hakimi, sell for Garland, but just my opinion. And once again, nice call on that Garland. Eric Carlson, love this format. I like how you think. Picked up a Klay Thompson Select Rookie PSA 10 at my first Very Card show in the Bay Area. I was probably there, so maybe we even crossed paths. Keep up the great work. The trouble with investing in injured guys is, like with Klay Thompson, your capital is going to be tied up for at least a year. If you're in the Bay, I'm sure you're just a Klay Thompson fan. I own Klay Thompson just because I enjoy him. I like having him in my collection. It's not necessarily like an investment. So yeah, investing in these injured guys. Klay's a legend. They will rise next year. They will hold value because of what he's done. From a purely investment perspective, I would probably advise people not to buy at this exact moment. But once again, to enjoy the hobby for a long-term hold, Klay Thompson, great pickup. Devin Booker RPA purchased before CP3. What's your strategy? This one is tough for me because these have definitely risen since CP3 got there. Everyone's really excited about the Suns. The Suns will be good this year, but there's actually a lot of hype around them right now. I think it's going to take a lot for them to kind of outperform people's expectations. I really like Devin Booker long term. He's just really talented, and I think he's a perfect number 2. I mean, I think him and Anthony Davis, that's kind of a random pairing to put out there, but to me, that's a championship team. So LeBron leaves 3 years down the line. Who knows what's going to happen? I guess my point is, I think Devin Booker is a winning championship player, and at some point he'll be in that situation. So I would say hold. There's an argument to be made for flipping now because I'd be surprised if like this is the bottom for the next year or two on Devin Booker. But I'm going to say hold just because, the Suns will be exciting this year, and I think Devin Booker sooner rather than later will find himself in a championship conversation. Next question from Hate Me the Cat. Hi, what do you think about Kaboom, Messi, Mbappe, Ronaldo? Thank you. So I'm not a huge insert guy, but for some reason I've been looking at Kabooms a lot lately. If there was an insert to invest in, I think that's the one. It's really iconic. It's cool to collect, and I really like the Messi, Mbappe, Ronaldo. I think that if more of the big spenders, the big dogs, the card sharks move into soccer cards, they're going to want those Kabooms of these top players. So I think those are actually a good investment. This might be the first buy of the video. I'm sounding like a hater or something, but to me, these are a buy, especially in PSA 10, BGS 9.5. I think there will always be interest in Kabooms. And I always get people asking me, what about like this select and this gold from this random year? It's tough because there's so many of those, getting interest in them. But the Kabooms, especially their first ones, there will always be interest and demand there, even though they're not rookie cards. So I think those are actually good buys right now. Next one from Teddy Schwartz, Josh Allen, PSA 10 Prism rookie card. This is once again one where I think a graph would be helpful. And as always, guys, if you enjoy these graphs, they're from a website called Card Ladder. I'll put my link in the description below. If you do find it helpful and you decide to sign up, I would really appreciate it if you use the link. It helps support the channel, but only if it provides value for you guys. Okay, so anyways, Josh Allen, Prism Base PSA 10. If you look at the graph here, I mean, I don't even like comparing to 2019 or 2020 just because it's almost a whole different world at this point. But, keep in mind, this was $50, not even 10 months ago. 10 months ago, this was a $50 card. Got up to, when the hobby heated up, it was, at 200, and then it got to a high of 670. Then it hit around 670 again, and then now it's back at right under $700. So it seems like there's a little bit of resistance there. I mean, that's a lot for a base Prism, honestly. Josh Allen is a really talented player. He's been playing well. I would say sell, honestly. If you just purely from a graph perspective, you can see this is kind of a top point for him right now. If you bought him really cheap, then sure, you can hold if you believe in Josh Allen, but you definitely could flip now because the Bills aren't winning the Super Bowl this year. I don't think these cards are going to boom anytime. Once the season's over, they're going to come back down. So if you're looking to get in on Josh Allen, I would just wait to buy. But, you can always hold if you got him for cheap and you believe in him long term. Next one from Amir CEO, Josh Sargent and Timothy Weah Optics. 100% buy for me. So cheap, under $5. What's your risks? The variations are like under $10 at this point. Two really talented guys. I think any U.S. men's national team card, especially the guys who are going to be playing in the World Cup, which are these two guys, I don't think you can go wrong. So yeah, Josh Sargent, Timothy Weah. Both have had their issues, but I'd say a buy. Next one from Unpack. I've been picking up a lot of 2009 Topps DeMar DeRozan serial number rookies. Steph's top prices have been trickling down to Harden and Giroux, so DeMar could be a good buy hold. In my personal opinion, I'm going to say sell. Like Harden and Giroux, Holiday are going up because they have a chance to compete for a championship. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if DeMar has gone up a little bit too, but I always ask the question, what is going to cause his cards to go up? Because at this point in his career, he's not going to flip a switch and become a way better player than we thought. The Spurs aren't going to do anything. And in my opinion, he's not the type of guy who long-term had good enough of a career where he's like really, really hobby relevant and like a legend. So if you like DeMar DeRozan, by all means, go and buy him, hold him, have him in your collection. But from an investment perspective, that's not the route I would go on. One more quick one from Jags fan, inappropriate number. Dope AF do this more and got a Jokic Prism, rookie red, white, and blue, and a Raz for $26. Looks like a 10. Yeah, for $26, definitely a buy. I'm not a huge Raz guy, but Jokic I think is pretty cheap, or he definitely was like a month ago. So yeah, I'll say buy on Jokic. I think they'll have a good season this year. And the last one was actually from an Instagram DM. So shout out to you. He asked me if he should get his feet wet with the Messi and Ronaldo 2006 World Cup rookies. My problem with these, the stickers that is, at one point, if I'm not mistaken, you could buy these directly from Panini for like 85 cents or $1. So to pay now, I think they're going for 20. I think I even saw some as high as 50 each in raw condition. That's a lot for me to pay for something that has a high print run and at one point could have been bought for 85 cents directly from the manufacturer. It's funny because I sound like the biggest Prism fan when I'm really not, but for that price, I would just pay the little bit extra for a 2014 Prism Messi or Ronaldo, or even if you want to get even more crazy, pick up the actual 2006 cards with a pop, I believe under like 200 or at least 500. They're so much more rare than the stickers. They're cooler than my stickers in my opinion. I understand not everyone wants to spend so much on cards. If I was gonna buy those stickers, I definitely would get them graded. I just think moving stickers in raw condition, that's just a headache. That's not something I wanna deal with at all. But yeah, my personal recommendation is I would probably look elsewhere if you're looking to invest in Messi and Ronaldo, even on a starter budget. But all right guys, that's it for the video. If you like this format, please like down below and I'll keep them coming. And make sure to comment your cards if you want to review it in the next video. Thanks for watching. We're gonna keep the videos coming.